Good morning. Good morning to our friends here from the regional international community. We're very grateful for your profound demonstration of solidarity with the government and people of Dominica. We shall be eternally grateful for the assistance which you've been providing to our people over the last several days following the destruction wrought on our country by Hurricane Maria. I also want to greet the residents and citizens of the country and the many volunteers who have been assisting us in our recovery efforts. Today we have decided to invite all our friends who have been here for the last several days. Some have been there from Tuesday morning, literally minutes after the hurricane, to assisting us, and we've had teams coming in, replacing the first teams, and we're very grateful to you. And we wanted to let the country know of your presence and what you've been doing for us over the last several days. And I can say, without your presence, we would not have made such progress thus far. If we were to remove you from the architecture of the response, we would almost virtually be the same position as we were the morning of Tuesday after the hurricane. So we're very grateful for this. And I just want to say to the country that in respect to security, we are putting the security system in place. I think we made some progress with the additional security personnel from the regional security system and also from the government of Trinidad and Tobago and the government of Jamaica. On my request of the Prime Minister of Jamaica for a security advisor to look at the overall security of the state, the security advisor, along with a team of four other people, arrived in Dominica today, and I've given them certain directions and on some of the terms of references for their presence. And he is now meeting with the various stakeholders to assess the state of security, because we have to ensure that no criminals take the opportunity because of the exposure of our country for any criminal activity. And we have to ensure that we can intercept drugs that may want to come in, or guns and ammunition, and all of the systems we're looking at to ensure that we're not taken advantage of by criminal elements. And this is one of the reasons why I have said to the country that we will not want to be receiving individual packages at this time, because we do not have sufficient security arrangements at the port to inspect and to scan each of those individual packages, barrels and so forth. And we will be in a position from next week to start receiving those personal packages, because we would by then have a better security arrangement in place. So while we are recovering, we also have to ensure that the citizens are protected. And one of the other mandates of the security advisor is to look at the private sector installations and to how we can enhance the security for the private sector so that we can open business and have some normalcy in the country. Access, we're making tremendous progress with access by road, so we can get to the majority of communities now by road, because as you know, every village was cut off from each other. And what we did prior to the hurricane is that we deployed heavy equipment to strategic locations across the country. So literally from Tuesday morning we started the clearing of roads, and we're very happy to note that we have made tremendous progress and the work is continuing. We have in the city, we have improved access to most of these roads, and we have a team coming from Guadeloupe, and I've instructed them to focus exclusively on the city of Roseau in clearing all the debris and flushing the drains and the streets to contain the dust. Communications, as you know, continue to improve. We got reports from Digicel and Flow. And of course we have a proposal from our friends from the United Kingdom who will be assisting us in further enhancing the communications across the country. The CEO, the chairman of Digicel came on island himself to ensure that Digicel will be pushing as hard to improve telecommunications services. We are now able to make calls and receive calls. That wasn't the case some days ago. Search and rescue continue. We continue to seek to identify every citizen and resident who was in the country the night and the morning of Hurricane Maria, sorry. And so the search and rescue continue using cadaver dogs and other technology available. And we have international friends who are assisting us, and regional friends who are assisting us with this. With schools, we're doing an assessment of schools to ascertain the structural integrity of the schools, because it is our intention, the government and the state, to reopen schools as quickly as possible, to cause children now to stop thinking of the hurricane and enduring the hardships of the hurricane, but also importantly to give the parents an opportunity to move, to get to work, and restoring their lives. The schools that have impacted, there's several schools that have been impacted beyond repair. And what we're doing is that we have gotten a benefactor who has indicated his willingness to source and finance a number of items for us. First, we will be procuring about 15 large tents that can be erected in communities and serve as schools and desks and chairs and all of the learning and teaching resources. Will be also important chemical toilets to provide for the schools, and we'll be providing hot meals to the students at those schools, so that we can get first the fifth formers into schools and also the primary school children, and then we will take the other forms as we go along, in terms of ensuring that schools can resume as quickly as possible. In respect to supplies, you know, in these circumstances, no matter which country you're in, small or large, developed or developing, there'll always be this talk about the lack of equity in the distribution of supplies to communities. Make it very clear to everybody. There shall be, and there has been, and there will not be any discrimination whatsoever with any community, with any person, creed or class, in respect to the distribution of supplies. What I have done as the Prime Minister of the country is that I have gotten the Secretary to the Cabinet to convene a meeting of the Committee of Permanent Secretaries. The Committee of Permanent Secretaries is a creature of law, a creature of the Parliament, and they have met along with members of the EOC, and they have drawn up a protocol for the distribution of supplies. And I have said to them that the protocol should address three critical elements, good governance elements. One, accountability. Two, transparency. And three, equity in the distribution of the supplies. That protocol has been drawn up, and I have further instructed that it be shared with the regional and international partners so they can have it reviewed, give the inputs in it, and once the inputs are received, it will be approved as the official protocol for the distribution of supplies to the country. And so that everybody within the country or outside the country can have a copy and access to this protocol, and to ensure that every supply received is properly noted. Everybody who receives is properly noted. The next instruction I've given to the Secretary of Cabinet is that we will need to start developing vouchers for the relief supply. So citizens and residents will have vouchers. The voucher will indicate what you ought to receive on this particular day. You will go to the designated location, you will present this voucher, and you will get it. It will be noted in the records so that it can be properly accounted for. Most of the supplies we received as of today or last night, in large measure, they have been distributed by the agencies that have brought them. And the agencies have brought them in and they have distributed. Some of the supplies that we have delivered are supplies which the government procured from local suppliers to get it on. Because of the seas, because of the logistical challenges, the commitments from regional international partners in terms of the large quantities of supplies have not reached the country. What I did as Minister of Finance is that I caused the Financial Secretary to open credit accounts at major suppliers in Barbados. And we've procured from suppliers in Barbados 350 tons of supplies, 2 vessels arriving in the country today. One at 9:30 and the other at 10:30. I have deployed these 2 vessels, one to Woodbridge Bay and the other to the port in Portsmouth, so that we do not have supplies coming from the south all the way to the northern village in Dominica. So the port in Portsmouth will go to the communities from Collyho all the way to Calibishi, and the supply in town will go to the southern westerly and southern easterly villages in Dominica. And the British have and the Venezuelans have helicopter assets there, and they have been helping us, and we're utilizing those helicopter assets to transport the food for us so that we can, because my intention is today every village and every street in Dominica should have supplies, and in quantities that are adequate for the nourishment. On Friday again, we shall receive 165 tons of food which the government purchased again from Barbados, and that again will be distributed within the approved protocol. There will be 14 40-feet containers loaded in Antigua today with food supplies, and we're hoping that it can get there, if not today, certainly by tomorrow, but we should get it today. So 14 40-foot containers. We're getting a plane load of supplies coming from Morocco tomorrow at 8 o'clock, and a plane load of supplies coming from Suriname tomorrow. And there are several supplies coming in from Miami and from Trinidad and from Barbados and from Jamaica, but those will come in over the next several days. So the intention is to ensure that we have sufficient supplies to supply the people of Dominica. We're addressing the water situation. The intention also is to bring in some water trucks. We have commandeered some water trucks. The Chinese company building the roads for us as a grant from the government of China. They have 4 water trucks. We have taken over these 4 water trucks, and they will be supplied with water both from the British ship and from the Dutch ship. And we will take them into communities, into Yampis, into Gutter Village, into Bath Estate, into Roseau, and we'll go street by street, and so that the residents can fill the utensils and have some water to cook and to do other sanitary applications. So in addition to the bottled water, we will get them to have some bulk water so they can supply. So, and the intention is to have it going on all through. You know, once we have daylight, we'll supply water to the people. So I really want to thank all of you, the volunteers. As you know, it's a huge challenge. You know, many people who have come to see me have indicated seeing this on television and seeing this by photographs, it is not telling the true message. It is really, when you get to the ground, you can see the difficulties. Finally, in respect to the health services, I believe we have made a phenomenal step forward with restoration of the PMH. The PMH, as you know, was below ground zero, And I really want to thank the first responders, the French, our friends who came to see me on Tuesday. They flew in there on Tuesday morning, came to see us, and we've helped in restoring the infrastructure. We have doctors from Cuba, we have doctors from the Palestinian Authority, we have doctors from the UK authorities, French, you know, been very helpful. All of you, PAHO, have been exceptional. You know, many partners. We really have the United Nations countries operating in a manner in which we should be operating here in Dominica. It's a truly amazing experience and manifestation of solidarity. So we have made improvements. We're able to dialyze patients there, utilizing solar-powered dialysis machines, you know, treating patients in the communities. We've had doctors doing so. We have restored the health center in Soufrière. to function, covered it. The hospital has been covered back, albeit temporarily, and it's a much better situation. When I went to the hospital on Tuesday morning, I mean, the way that we were operating there with no electricity, no running water, roofs leaking, you know, the nurses have done a fantastic job. The matron and her staff, and the couple of doctors over there, they were doctors who were operating both as medical doctors and maintenance men. You know, really helping to help, trying to help our people. So I'll end there, and I will leave you in the capable hands of Ambassador Henderson. And I just wanted to come to say thanks to you. As you know, I'm followed up on a number of issues, and I would have loved to stay for the entire presentation, but you know, but I'm certainly grateful as I follow on what you've been doing and the delivery of supplies to the various communities. You know, I said without you, it would not have been possible. And I'm on behalf of the people of my country, I am very grateful for this, and we shall convey appropriately at the appropriate time our gratitude to your government, to your people, and all of the agencies. You know, we have UNDP here, and Stephen O'Malley will be seeing us today. I've been in touch with the head there in New York. But there's no pouring of friendship and solidarity for people. It's going to be a long journey back, but with your help, your guidance and advice, we'll certainly get there. We already put in a team of economists together to start drawing up the economic recovery plan of our country. We will put in national reconstruction teams of a white cross-sectional society, drawing on the experience of international and regional stakeholders to assist the country. We have ideas from our own. We will blend them with the advice coming from others, but our intention is to take the opportunity to rebuild the country in the manner we would have loved to build it in the first place. And in every crisis, in every disappointment, there is a blessing in disguise, and we have to look for that blessing that's disguised itself, and take advantage of it, and to build a more resilient country, and to ensure that in the event these things happen in the future, we can certainly be standing much better than we are standing now. So thank you, all of you, and merci beaucoup, muchas gracias. I wish I could speak Arabic, but you speak English, you know, and the rest of my friends speak English. So, and for my friends in Martinique, especially, I know President Marijan would like to promote the Creole language. Merci en chai. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Prime Minister, and special good morning to all of you. Bonjour. Buenos dias. Let me join Prime Minister Skerrit to thank you. I have worked with most of you. We have become good friends over the last few days in difficult circumstances, but I think we've had some great exchanges. We look forward to continuing working with you, and those of you who have not had that opportunity, I also look forward to working with you as we seek to rebuild Dominica from the ravages of Hurricane Maria. This morning, we'll use the opportunity to allow you to do the presentations, so I will minimize my contribution, but allow you to at least let the nation and the world know what you have been doing for the benefit of our people and our country. So I'll take the opportunity to invite you to speak. The first one, and by the way, we're going in alphabetical order. There's no, precedence, and that doesn't mean anything. It's just alphabetical order, in English, of course. The Canadians are not here for some reason, unfortunately. So we will move to the next in line, the Cubans, and I will invite Ambassador of the Republic of Cuba to Dominica to address you. Thank you.
Yes, good morning to everyone. So I just want to say that I bring a message from Cuba. So Cuba ratifies the political will to continue helping Dominica, especially in this very sad and difficult moment. When Maria hit Dominica, Cuba was here because we have here for many years a medical team. But anyway, we brought from Cuba 10 Cuban doctors, 3 electrical engineers, medical supplies, and also we have a team, technical team that has been working in order to open the road. In this moment, some of them are working in order to open the road from here to the airport. Cuba is ready to continue helping Dominica. As I always say, tell us, Dominica, in what way and how we can help, and for sure we will do it. Please allow me to say something in Spanish as well. Cuba ratifica, traigo un mensaje de Cuba, Cuba ratifica la voluntad política de continuar apoyando al pueblo de Dominica, especialmente en este momento triste y difícil para Dominica. Cuando Irma golpeó a Dominica, Cuba estaba presente con una brigada médica que ha trabajado durante muchos años y además de eso envió un grupo de rescate de 20 personas que ha estado trabajando en la apertura de los caminos en este preciso momento. Algunos de ellos están trabajando en la apertura del camino hacia el aeropuerto. Y además de eso hemos traído 10 médicos cubanos con 3 electricistas, ingenieros eléctricos. Cuba está en la mejor disposición de continuar apoyando al pueblo de Dominica, especialmente en estos momentos. Y como siempre digo, díganos, Dominica, en qué forma y cómo podemos ayudar, que con gusto lo vamos a hacer. Al final estamos en un momento difícil, pero al final veremos la victoria. Muchas gracias.
Thank you very much. And today is a very busy day. It's going to be a very busy day. You heard the Prime Minister. We are going to be busy distributing food supplies and water throughout the island. Thanks to our friends, the Dutch, the US, the UK have all agreed to do airlifting today. And I know we're going to have a very noisy day as well because they will be in helicopters over. Now, the UK actually is leaving. The helicopter just landed, and therefore I hope you wouldn't mind if we invite you to address us now for a few minutes so that you can catch your helicopter, because we need to ensure that we utilize your assets well, Commander. Please.
As the captain of HMS Ocean, the fleet flagship of the Royal Navy, I'd just like to express my thanks for the warm words of welcome both from the Prime Minister and from the Ambassador. Thank you, sir. HMS Ocean, the fleet flagship and largest operational warship currently in the Royal Navy, is operating 1.5 miles off the eastern coast of Dominica. And the reason is, of course, we stand shoulder to shoulder with the people of Dominica at this time of crisis and are honoured to operate as part of a multinational task group. We are here in support and solidarity of your people and have rapidly responded to this emerging crisis with the dispatch of an operational liaison and reconnaissance team and an FCO team immediately in the wake of Hurricane Maria to conduct assessment of the need. UK support comprises over 60 tonnes of vital humanitarian aid. As I speak, a vessel is berthing alongside here in Dominica, bringing 20 tonnes of much needed aid. But of course, I stand here representing HMS Ocean, and as a helicopter carrier we're ideally suited to respond to this crisis. I have over 700 highly skilled sailors, marines and personnel from all 3 services, 9 helicopters and 4 landing craft, and we've immediately commenced the delivery of vital water, food and shelter. And today, for example, we'll be delivering some 9 tonnes of tarpaulins, 6 tonnes of bottled water, 6 tonnes of food, and a number of high-powered teams who will be supporting the reconstruction effort, commencing with support to, for example, some of the medical clinics, reconstructing the roofs there and a power generator. Also, I should say that a number of my ship's company actually come from the Caribbean region, and that, coupled with the scale of this humanitarian tragedies, only served to redouble our determination to support the people of Dominica. But this is an operation being led at the very top by the Department for International Development, and I'm now delighted to hand over to Julie, who will say a few more words about the UK's effort.
Good morning, bonjour, buenos dias. I thought I might just add a little bit of colour to that, tell you a little bit about the areas that we have been to. In accordance with the government of Dominica's plans and Sedima's plans, we have focused on the east and southeast of the island, between Castle Bruce and Tête Moine, leaving out Grand Bay as the US have a very large asset down there. We focused on the three key population centres, Castle Bruce, La Plaine, and today visited Rosalie. I have to say, the devastation on the east of the island is, I can't put words to it. Rosalie today, I would say over 90% of all structures have been destroyed. These locations have not been reached yet by anyone else, although we're delighted to hear that the road to Roseau opened yesterday, so that will change things a lot. Those 60 tonnes of aid are going out, well, started out going out yesterday and will be out there today. So all those villages will be resupplied, and in addition, some of the smaller helicopters have located 10 villages which are entirely cut off by road, where they'll be dropping some essential supplies as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate the support of the government of the United Kingdom, and we look forward to continuing working with you. We know you have quite a bit of drops to make today, 11 in total. So we would like you to please, according to your ambassador, get on with it. Okay. All right. Thank you. So we would now again, please. I said we go in alphabetical order, but for some reason we refer to you as the Dutch. It's the Netherlands, the Kingdom of Holland. We would like to invite you to share with us your efforts in the recovery process. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Bas Snijdelaar. I'm the Executive Officer of Netherlands Warship Zeeland. Netherlands Warship Zeeland is actually at the moment for 3 months already in the Caribbean, executing counter-drugs operations. A few weeks ago, we already got the order to head over to Sint Maarten, as she was hit by Hurricane Irma. We've been there for 2 weeks and had to go back for resupplying for another run on Sint Maarten. And then we discovered the enormous tragedy that was hit to Dominica. The government made a wise decision to turn starboard and help out Dominica as well. So at the morning of the 21st, we were already here and conducted an aerial search and checked out all the areas that might have been in the need of the most reasonable help. As from the 22nd, we moored in and actually got our hands on as much food as possible to start distributing. Besides the ship itself, we have 2 small boats. We have a helicopter that are able to reach almost every part in Dominica. We made contact to the government, the NGOs and our military colleagues to make a division of which areas to respond to. So far, our efforts have been to the isolated areas and medical evacuations. We distributed already for 60,000 liters of water all over the area from Jimmet and Layu up all the way to Hampstead. So that's all the western part and even the northern part. Today we're going to extend that to as much as Wesley, which is a little bit up north of the main airport. We also already provided 30,000 kilograms of food and conducted more than 50 medical evacuations. We were able to fix the generators of the hospital yesterday. It's now powered, and also we managed to fix the dialysis apparatus. I'm happy to tell you that we're allowed to stay for another more week, 1 week, which is really necessary to help this country get back on their feet again. Today, we're going to get in another 1,500 metric tons of food, water, medical supplies, but also transportation, as eventually that needs to be the primary way to distribute food. As soon as we get our hands on those 1,500 metric tons of food, water, medicines, and other supplies, we'll start to distribute again all over the west and northern coast. Again, the Dutch are grateful to be here and help out Dominica. We're glad to be here for another week. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we really appreciate your efforts, and we are delighted that you're able to remain here for another week. I'm very, very happy. I've had the pleasure to work with your team, and they have an excellent team. Excellent team. We will now take the opportunity to invite the representative of the Republic of France and our voisin from Martinique, okay, to join us. Bienvenue.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. So, France government and is representative in Martinique and Guadeloupe, because you are very close with Dominica, naturally want here as soon as possible, that's on Tuesday afternoon, to assist our brothers and sisters of Dominica. The first action was to send an helicopter from Martinique with a little team to take and ensure the Prime Minister of the French help and made a first assessment of the consequences of Hurricane Maria in Dominica. According with this first assessment, France quickly decided to send a detachment of 62 search and rescue and medical team. According with the Prime Minister, we started with two actions. First, restoring the Princess Margaret Hospital, very hardly hit by Maria. Second, to open wards with chainsaw team to access to the tank around Roseau, and in the same time we started distribution of the 30 tons of bottled water arrived in the vessels, the Ventus vessels. We distributed this water with speedboat, but also with helicopter in the south part, because they propose us to work on the south part in coordination with the Dutch, and also with the helicopter in all other places that the government designated in the country. We enlarge our action on the south, particularly on Pointe Michel, on Soufrière, on Scottheads, by restoring the health center in Soufrière and Cachacrou, the schools, distributing water and food by speedboat and heli in these places, and in total the figures I can give you is just a moment, is 24 tons of water distributed, it's 8 tons of food distributed, it's 12 people evacuated to Princess Margaret Hospital by heli, by Medivac. It's 2 people evacuated to the French hospital in Martinique because of their health situation. It's 63 people that our doctors present here ausculted. It's 1,300 square meters of plastic sheets to cover different buildings. It's also 3.7 kilometers of roads opened by our team, or different team. So today, this team, this search and rescue detachment, is leaving to Martinique, but France will continue to participate in the effort to restore the situation in Dominica with the AUCP mechanism the AECP mechanism is activated, and the AECP team is just arrived in Canfield. So after this press conference, I'm going to Canfield to bring them and to give them the continuation of the action. I think it's important, particularly in the south. We'll discuss this with the AECP team to settle water purification capacity. So it should be one of the action of the AECP mechanism. So we are very proud, but we are also very sensitive to the welcome that the government of Dominica give us, and we are very sensitive to the coordination, the international coordination, and the way we coordinate together with all of you. So thank you a lot for that.
Merci, Colonel Patrick Cyburn. Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate your support. I work closest with you because I spend a lot of time at the stadium with you. And thank you to all the men and women. I went on one trip with you as well, and I was very encouraged at the quality of service that you gave to our people. Thank you. And the support in particular to Point Michel, Scott said, and Sofia, because they were caught up and they were hit really hard. So thank you for that. We look forward to continued participation of the French Republic through your special ACP EU team. So it's now my pleasure to introduce another one of our partners, and we have for the first time in this in our efforts to recover after natural disaster, the representative ambassador designated to Dominica, ambassador to Venezuela, and the rest of the Caribbean of the state of Palestine. Welcome.
I think I'm a little bit short. Good morning, all. In the name of the President of the State of Palestine, Mahmoud Abbas, and the Foreign Minister, Dr. Riyad Malki, we were deployed with a team of 36 delegates, headed by the Director General of the Palestinian International Cooperation, PICA, which he is joining me in these minutes, Director Imad Zuhairi. We're here to help all what we can. We have 11 doctors, among them 8 surgeons. We have 10 civil defense specialized in water shelter. We have another 10 Red Crescent specialized in rescue, specialized in first aid, and in helping all natural disasters area. The state of Palestine, for the first time in the Caribbean in such a mission, and we hope to be here in the rebuilding. We will be here indeed in the rebuilding with our investors, with our construction teams. We will do whatever it takes to help the island of Martinique, of Dominica. And also I named Martinique because there is a group of investors in Martinique who are sending help through PICA that should be arriving in the next 2 days. Also, we brought with us 4 tons of water, tents, food, clothing, shoes, generators. We stopped in St. Vincent, and with the help of the Prime Minister, Ralph Gonsalves, he also sent with us 4 tons of help. This is a joint venture of the Venezuelan, Palestinian, and St. Vincent. Without the help and directions of President Nicolas Maduro and his government, we would not have been able to reach to Dominica. Their helicopters, their army airplanes has been deploying us, helping us, moving us around. We arrived and we took upon us to visit Marigot and the 6 villages around. We did some individual help, touching bases home by home or in churches. Our doctors with the sick people, with the injured people, our Red Crescent and the International Cooperation Agency were giving away the food, the help that was brought with our love and our solidarity to our brothers in Dominica. I got the pleasure and honor of going in a Venezuelan helicopter with the Prime Minister to visit some villages. Today we will be helping them and joining them in rescue teams. Another 4 tons of water will be arriving past tomorrow, again with the Venezuelan government. We want to tell our brothers and all the Caribbeans that Palestine feel part of the Caribbeans. We are a recent member in the Organization of the Caribbean, and we hope to help and be with you hand by hand as brothers with all the solidarity of the people and government of Palestine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. And I want to thank you in particular for the hot meals that you have provided for the people of Marigot. I think that is very important and very touching. And thank you for your presence there. It is also now my pleasure to welcome our brothers from the North, the United States of America, and the representative, please.
Good morning. Buenos dias. My name is Tim Callahan. I'm the Disaster Assistance Team Leader for the U.S. government for this emergency. As we heard earlier, I would like to offer our prayers for the people of Dominica for the tremendous impact. I'm based out of Costa Rica. I've been doing emergencies for a long time. I came from St. Martin, where the devastation was terrible, but it's worse here. And so, again, we offer our condolences and our prayers to the people of Dominica. As we've heard, it has to be a collaborative effort. The United States brought in non-food items, relief items. We've been working with the Dutch and the Canadian Navy, items that we have like water containers to ensure that people who have water can get that out quickly. So we're working together with whoever we can. We have a team at the Douglas Charles Airport. We have brought in, because obviously we know there's so many needs here. One of the items we hope will be beneficial is plastic sheeting to help the many families who have been impacted with roofs. So we have non-food items both at the port here. We will continue to work with our colleagues from other countries to make sure we get them out immediately, as we did yesterday, and we'll continue to do that today. We do have also up to 10 helicopters working. Several will be flying today. We'll continue to work with the ambassador on that. And we'll continue to listen to the government, working in support of the government. Yesterday, the government asked us to deliver relief items to shelters throughout the city here. We did that. We've heard there's a requirement for a forklift at the airport in Douglas Charles. We're working on that. And we'll continue. We've already funded the Dominican Red Cross. We will continue to do that. We'll continue to work with our partners from SEDIMA, the UN, Samaritan's Purse, the UN Family Federation of the Red Cross. Again, like others, we'll be bringing in chainsaws and different items like that. So we've brought in, I don't have the tonnage, but we have material, non-food items both here at the airport and also up in the Douglas Charles Airport. And we have experts right now looking at food, water, and shelter issues, and we'll be making recommendations and funding recommendations accordingly. So again, our prayers to the people in Dominica, and our assets we're willing to share them with whatever country as the government directs us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And we look forward to especially the plastic sheet and the as we call it, the tarpaulins. We know we have a tremendous supply, and we're looking forward to that, so that they can be distributed to families to ensure that we can have some protection from the rain. The Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, ideally you should be first because Bolivarian in alphabetical order, but Venezuela, also in alphabetical order, is really the last. So we would like to invite you to share with us. Welcome. Anyway,
good morning. Sorry for my English, it's not good, but we take to thanks to Dominica, his people. He attended us when he came the first day. I got the thank you to First Minister too. we reach to the Psalms community. We are attend some people when the ways is impossible to come there. We have approximate 1,368 people attend in 4 or 5 days, more or less. I don't have much to say. Like we do the work we came to do. Our friends, the French, Cubans, Palestinians, all we work together and bring in all the help we have to do to Dominican, and if possible help in something more, is in your hands to tell us. Thank you. Thank you for all.
Thank you. Gracias. Well, okay, so now that we have had the opportunity to hear from the representatives of the countries, we would now like to call 2 of the agencies to give their own presentations. We will invite, between you, have you decided? You have, we have Sedima and on that. So, Sedima, thank you.
Thank you very much. And good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency, or SEDIMA, we bring remarks to the Dominican people and express our support and solidarity to the government and people of Dominica. We have a multinational, multi-institutional representation from across the Caribbean working in Dominica in collaboration with our UN partners and others to support the emergency response operations on the ground. The multi-institutional is a representation of our CARICOM partners, which includes the Regional Security System, the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology, SEDIMA, and several others who continuously partner with us in emergency response. It also includes several countries from Trinidad and Tobago in the south, Barbados, St. Lucia, Antigua, Jamaica, and several of our other partners, country members, who support the operations. We have brought a multi-institutional, multinational teams on the ground, which includes the Rapid Needs Assessment Team, whose work is currently complete, and a Rapid Needs Assessment report has been submitted to the government of Dominica to inform and guide on the needs as well as the short-term rehabilitation and recovery process. We have the CARICOM Relief Disaster Unit, a quasi-military team designed specifically to support relief operations. We also have the CDAC, which is a CARICOM Disaster Assessment Coordination Team, aimed at more detailed damage assessment and needs analysis. The SEDIMA CU has been leading the coordination effort in the form of international coordination meetings, as well as supporting the National Emergency Operations Center to ensure that there's good effort on the ground, there's no duplication. And in this regard, we're working very closely with the UN partners, UN OCHA, and several other institutions from across the region. We continue to support the effort in Dominica. We will continue to provide as much support, guidance, and relief that can be provided from across this region. And I'll close in saying that the Caribbean region stands in solidarity with the Dominican people and the Dominican government. We're here to support and will continue to do so. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good morning. Upon the request of SEDIMA and the government of Dominica, the United Nations system deployed the United Nations Disaster Assessment and Coordination teams. My team first arrived in Dominica on Wednesday. We were asked to support SEDIMA and Dominican efforts to coordinate the international community relief assistance. So far, we've been working very closely with the Dominican disaster management authorities, the SEDIMA, to coordinate all relief assistance coming in country and mobilize all resources to address the needs of the Dominican population. We've deployed water purification facilities and helped coordinate other responders, other nations in identifying the needs, where to distribute water, relief items, shelter equipment, and food. We've been working very closely with all the air and maritime assets made available by the different countries and helping them identifying the most urgent needs to be addressed. We've worked also very closely with the Ministry of Health to re-establish all medical facilities. As you heard before, the hospital in Roseau is now almost fully operational. We've provided also medical supplies. As of today, we've helped distributing by the World Food Programme high energy biscuits. 58,000 kilos of high energy biscuits have been distributed in the country. 67,000 liters of water, either bottled water or bulk water, have been also distributed throughout the country, and 3 tons of dry food. More assistance is in its way from different hubs of the United Nations. Several NGOs have also deployed in country to assist the relief effort, to assist the Dominican government. And the UNDAC teams are strengthening to make sure we don't duplicate efforts and we address all the needs wherever they are in the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Unfortunately, we did not have the opportunity to hear from the representatives of Trinidad and Tobago, but the government of Trinidad and Tobago have provided tremendous support. They have provided helicopter services that have been used for medevac to evacuate people who've been injured to the PMH, and also outside of Dominica. We've also utilized the helicopter services from the Trinidad team to distribute food and water throughout the island. So I want to also mention that, since we didn't have the opportunity of the company this morning. But I just would like to take this opportunity to once again thank all our partners. They have been exceptional in your support. And to say to the Dominican people, I know we've been hit hard. We've been hit really, really hard. And when you wake up, I know the feeling of despair and the challenge that you face having to go out there. But we've been through this. We've been through Hurricane David and we recovered. We recently got hit by Tropical Storm Erika. We were hit really hard and we recovered. We were pretty much on the way to bringing everything back to normal. I have no doubt, and especially when I wake up and I see my neighbor who continues to work every day, cleans his place, secures his family, and goes to work to ensure that we can have telecommunication services restored. I am encouraged. I'm encouraged by the guys who've cleaned the streets, who've pulled all the rubble aside and packed them out and get busy going. I feel encouraged by that. I feel encouraged by the public officers who show up every day, who've been here. Today's day 8, and they've not missed a day. No matter how difficult it is to get here, they come here to serve. Cecil Shillingford, Fitzroy Pascal and the team at the EOC, and all the many volunteers throughout the island. I was encouraged so much when I went to Seneca on one of the drops with our friends, the French. And I saw this man with a hammer in his hand, and he told me they just completed restoring the first roof, and they're continuing to restore more roofs. I see no reason to be in despair, because I know that our people have the courage and the will to rebuild Dominica. But the encouragement as well from our development partners that they are here with us and they will continue to be with us should be enough to keep us going and to keep us building Dominica and to get our lives back together. For the first few days immediately after the hurricane, it was very difficult to get access throughout the entire island, and therefore we had to resort to airlifting food and water and essential supplies to communities and also to evacuate people. As the one responsible for coordinating the distribution of relief supplies, I must say it was indeed an overwhelming task in the first few days because we didn't have motorable roads to most of these communities, and in some cases, access to helicopter was really limited. We utilized the Dutch to distribute water and food along the coast using vessels, the boats, and that was one. But we were able to get through the worst hit areas and areas we know that were totally cut off through helicopter services, and I'm very grateful to the countries that provide their assets and allow us to do the drops. So we were able to do that. The first few days as well, we had not received much supply from our friends and therefore had to dig within our own reserves here in Dominica to ensure that we're able to provide food and water to especially the most vulnerable. We will, from day 8, put in place a new structure. We have already put that structure in place that we will utilize to ensure that we can continue providing support to our people, because we know that some people are going to be out for a while, and jobs have been, people's livelihoods have been affected, disrupted, and we know that there will continue to be need for government to provide supplies. And as a result, the Committee of Permanent Secretaries met yesterday, and the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Trade, who is responsible for coordinating that part of the initiative, will address us today so that we can share with the country and our partners who are here to let you know what we are doing to ensure the accountability and the equity in receiving and distributing supplies, so that the most vulnerable people are provided for, and to ensure that people will, in fact, receive the support where most needed. So it is my pleasure to introduce Permanent Secretary Prevost to present. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Henderson. And just to be brief, I would like to say that, as has been said by the Honorable Prime Minister and Ambassador Henderson, that the support of the international agencies and countries who are here have been critical in the distribution of relief over the last few days. And I would also like to add that we have been challenged, of course, by transportation. Some areas are not accessible. We have also been challenged by communication. It's difficult to communicate with the communities outside of Roseau. So we have also had the challenge of not being able to inform in advance that there will be drop-offs. So we are really trying to coordinate this relief effort under quite a bit of challenging circumstances, but we do appreciate the assistance of all who are here to provide the support to us. As has been said before, and I would really like to thank the local suppliers who have assisted us in advance of the aid pouring in. We have been working with about 7 local suppliers to provide immediate food relief supplies. And we have also been distributing from the government's end the relief that we've received from the region, immediate relief from the region, from Grenada, Barbados, Trinidad. And of course, all the foreign agencies have also been tasked with distributing their own relief that they have brought in. So what we have been doing is trying to fill in the gaps, ensuring that the essential services are provided for. This is something that people may not have thought about, but we would have had to ensure over the last few days that the hospital has enough food for patients, that the prison, the fire, the police, providing the security, all of the volunteers who are working could have water and food. And that has been critical for us here as well in terms of the distribution of supplies. We are also, and I would also like to join Ambassador and the Prime Minister in thanking the team of volunteers, the public servants, the individuals who have just walked off the street and asked, what can I do? And with the relief operation, as challenging as it has been, we have had quite a number of people who have been here working for the last couple of days, from 7 o'clock in the morning to 10 o'clock at night, to ensure that communities, that shelters, that areas that are cut off, and that the individuals who are working to ensure that the city and that the roads get back to normal, including the WASCO, including the electricity company, the telephone companies. We are also trying to ensure that they as well have access to food and water. We, as was said earlier, the Committee of Permanent Secretaries met yesterday, and we have put together a structure going forward in terms of distribution. Earlier on, our plan Our efforts have been concentrated on the urgent areas, essential services. As we move forward, we would like to ensure that this is better coordinated, and we have looked at a proper structure which is already in place, I would say. The main ports of entry: Douglas Charles Airport, Longhouse, Portsmouth, Woodbridge Bay Port, and Canefield Airport. We are receiving supplies into all of these areas. What we are trying to do is to ensure that these supplies don't all come to Roseau, but that the ports of entry would serve as major receiving points, and that there would be regional warehouses that these ports of entry would service. So Douglas Charles Air Cargo Shed, we plan to serve Marigot to Calibishi and the Kalinago territory out of the aid that comes in through Douglas Charles Airport. We have also opened the Longhouse port is also open, and the multi-purpose packing shed of Dexia at Portsmouth is set up with a team to receive supplies that comes into Portsmouth, and the supplies coming into Portsmouth will service the north, from Portsmouth to Cottage, and Bourne to Benz, Tebow to Penville, and perhaps as far down as Collyho. The Woodbridge Bay Port, of course, would service the Roseau area, the West Coast, and also direct airlift to inaccessible communities. And as far as storage is concerned, we do have the multi-purpose pack house in Roseau, the 8-bank shed, and a few other areas that we'll be utilizing. But the plan is that we would like to have the relief as soon as it comes in to go out. We would not like to have to store relief over a period of time. So over the last few days and over the next coming days, whatever comes into the ports of entry will be directly airlifted or ferried to the communities via boats, or will also be transported via ground transportation. We have also put a team together to include a supply coordinator and international aid liaison who will liaise with all of the international agencies to ensure that we can coordinate our efforts. Of course, transportation is a massive undertaking, so we do have an individual who is assigned to coordinate transportation. Customs, brokerage, this is also something that's going to be important, so part of our team would include this. And we are also putting together a team of volunteers to serve as tally clerks, loaders, truckers, security, packers, which we will all need over the coming days. We have also discussed and will put in place, as by the end of today, the assistance of public officers in various districts who are even unable to come to Roseau to work, to assist and to provide support to the relief efforts where necessary. And over the next few days, at least by tomorrow, we would like to distribute a list of main distribution centers. So we've identified focal areas in each community, whether it be urban or rural communities. There are schools, health centers, schools, in some cases police stations, in some cases family homes. And we will ensure that the supplies are distributed at these focal points, that there will also be teams set up at these points and specific days that individuals will know the days and times when the relief will be distributed. So this list will be made available to the general public by the end of today. And there are a number of other initiatives that we are putting in place, particularly for public officers and for the essential services, which will be coordinated by Permanent Secretary Jean-Jacques and the Establishment Division. So as we move along, more information will be provided on the distribution of relief supplies and the aid, but I would just like to end by saying that this would really not be possible without the help of the suppliers, the local suppliers, the security team, the police. They've been extremely helpful to us, the assistance with the transportation, the trucking, the truckers who have just come and volunteered their services. We really would like to thank all the Dominicans who have seen it possible to lend a hand during this time and help us build back Dominica. So again, thank you very much, and we look forward to continuing the coordination, particularly with our foreign agencies in the next coming days. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, and once again, our most profound gratitude to all our partners, countries, agencies, and to all the many Dominicans who, especially those who walked up to us and asked, how can I help? And we really encourage our people to go to your communities, help clean, help get the place restored, do what you can. We will provide food, we will provide water, we will provide the assistance that are essential. But all we ask our people to do is to play their parts. Whatever way you can, help to clean, just do something. Let's get it going. Let's show the world that we are ready to rebuild Dominica. So, with that, I want to say thank you to our friends from the media. Thank you for being here, and we look forward to continue engagement with you as we continue to inform the nation of what we're doing to restore Dominica after the passage of Hurricane Maria. Thank you. Okay. Now.